Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. I'm your host, Hudrico, and today we are sitting down with Tillman Givens III to talk about fatherhood, how he, as a single father of two, takes on this role and responsibility, the joy he gets out of it, and how he has the right mindset to push him through his everyday challenges, something that's good for fathers, mothers, and anybody raising kids. So if you want to hear more about it, don't worry, you can, because Hudrico Live starts right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast of mine. It's the Hudrico Live podcast. And today, I got another guest, man. Sometimes you have to look far to find quality, but I didn't have to look too far. All I had to do was go to the club. Not the club you're thinking about, though. Clubhouse, man. I met this young man on Clubhouse, and I have to admit, I have been truly enamored with all the great things that he is doing ever since, and it is an honor to have him on the show. I know y'all saying, who are you talking about, Hudrico? I'm going to let him introduce himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the one, the only.
Tillman Givens III.
That's what I'm talking about. What's going on, Tillman? How you doing this afternoon, my guy?
Man, I'm doing good. You know, as usual, every Sunday morning, I'll start out with a great workout early in the morning. So, Tillman Givens III, also known as TG3. Humble beginnings from Louisiana. Been living out here in Houston, Texas for, 20-some years, 20 plus years. So I've been out here since, elementary? Probably elementary school. I've been out here in Houston, Texas, which has been great because a lot of great networking opportunities, so many different industries. I mean, Houston is so big. It has an inner loop, an outer loop, and an outer loop. So, it's just somewhere you want to have business and network at. It's perfect, man. I'm so happy to be here. Hudrico Live in the building.
Let's get it, baby. Hey, listen, that was funny. There was a time that I really wanted to live in that close to that Houston area. I thought I was going to retire like in Katy. I'm like, I'm going to retire in Katy as time goes. I'm not saying Katie's completely out of the picture, but I'm over here West Coast, and I've been West Coasting for so long from Miami, but I feel like I'm from the West Coast. I've been over here for so long. But tell me, everybody always asks, they say, Hudrico, what does it take to be a guest on the show? And people think you have to be famous. That's not it. People think you have to be rich. Definitely not it. What you have to have is a story, and you have to have something that I like to call motivational characteristics. What you do brings something to other people. And as we begin to chat, man, you've been telling me a lot about your story, about how you basically have changed your career path and started your own businesses. Not only did you do that, you battled through some family situations that we'll get into. And you have had the honor, duty, and privilege at times of being a full-time dad, man, which in our community is not always something we get a chance to see a lot of. So there's so many places to start. So I'm gonna toss it to you. Where do you want to begin? Where do we want to start this Tillman Givens III story?
Man, that's a great question. I think that, the fatherhood piece is huge. So I think jumping right into that would be good. And then we can go more into the business aspect and all that. So,
typically in our community, sometimes Black fathers, we don't get the best rap. Let's just call a spade a spade. A lot of times people come from families where the father was absent. I'm going to be honest with you. When I was growing up, my daddy wasn't there. So therefore, I grew up saying, I know what I don't want to do. I know who I don't want to be. Now you have the opportunity and the blessing to be there for your children. What has fatherhood meant to you, and why is it so important to you?
Man, I think so. Well, first off, I got to be very thankful that, I did have a great father. I grew up with a military father. So a lot of discipline, a lot of Saturday mornings waking up with on your feet, to go outside and do yard work. The blessing of being able to have that, what's it called? Like the discipline of simple things like making your bed, putting stuff back where it goes, putting stuff back where you got it from. So I think that was something that I didn't really realize how grateful I was for it. And until I got older, as I got to college and I started seeing how many, especially like you said, of our people that didn't have their father, that didn't have the ability to learn these lessons at a young age, or just to have somebody that they could watch at a close level. Now, mind you, when I was younger, my dad worked a lot. You know, I had a military father, so he worked a lot. But so I was around my mom a lot more. But as I continued to got older, I still had those moments where like I would go to like a martial arts tournament. He would take me to a martial arts tournament sometimes. And I remember like my coach one time when I was playing basketball, he was like, man, he's like, look, bro, you need to invite your dad every game. If I got to go talk to him, then go talk to him. Cause like, he couldn't really make my game. So the one game he came, like the game that he came to that season.
You was trying to ball out.
I was like, bruh, I was like, hey, right. Like, I was like, got him. You know what I'm saying? They like, all my teammates looking at me like, bro, what's up with Tillman? Like, he be going hard, but like, yo. So
today you're on a different level. It's that approval from your father. So that kind of molded you. Did it help mold you to become the father that you are today? Are those some of the principles that you use in your dealings with your two children? Now you have two children, correct? You have a son and a daughter. Now, I've seen many videos of you doing some hair. I've seen many videos of y'all cooking and getting after it. So active is an understatement. You truly have been active in these children's lives, which is something that's phenomenal for them. So what does that stem from?
Yeah, so I think for me, like, it was just, first of all, this is one thing that I'm working on with my course right now, was that like just starting off with the mindset. Like every day, a lot of people wake up and say, I'm gonna be a great business person. A lot of people wake up and say, I'm gonna have a great show today. But I literally wake up and say, today's gonna be a great day, and I'm gonna show up as a great father with 100% belief and absolutely no doubt. That's the biggest thing. Like to even wake up and have the mindset that I am a great father and I'm going to continue to get better because I'm continuously learning. Now, obviously, I don't know it all. So when my son was still in the womb, I would drive around and listen to this book by Dr. Sears, who was a pediatrician for 25 years, and he had 8 children. Right. So he taught me so many different things. And some of those things you only need to know once. Like me and my son was cooking before. He got cayenne pepper in his eye and I knew what to do. I knew I had to grab some whole milk, put it in there. He was back to jumping off of couches in the next 2 minutes. Okay. You know what I mean? But just being able to understand what time we're in as well. In the 21st century, the stat that they have come out with now is that you have until about their 9-10 years old before they start getting all these different distractions and start getting all these impressions and views and ideologies from the world. So, you know, I take it upon myself to like really instill that into them at a very young age, because at the end of the day, if you're going to break, you know, generational curses and break, you know, all these different things that have been going on for generations, it pretty much start with me. So, and I just, and in the other side of it, like my third point is just, I just really enjoy it, man. Like there's nothing better than being able to see someone's life transform, but to see like your seed, like your child wake up and try to copy you. You know, imitation is the biggest form of flattery. So they copy me and, you know, just, you know, trying to make sure that they're like mentally ready to go. And, you know, I love to teach. So being able to teach them and having them be so impressionable and then like apply it, it's a really cool transformational process, you know, and as you continue to watch them grow and evolve into like their own little human beings, when their personalities start coming out, you be like, whoa, you know what I'm saying?
You start to see who they are. You start to see who they are and who they kind of growing up to be. So let me ask you this question, because a lot of people do this. Single parenting altogether, whether you're a mother or a father, some people actually look at it as a burden. They look at it as, oh man, I got to raise these kids by myself. What are some things you would give people to advise them to say, hey, how do we turn that? How do we flip that mindset instead of saying, man, I'm here with these kids to, man, guess what? I'm blessed to have these kids.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I literally, right before I got on this show, I was just having a conversation with a young lady about this very subject. And here's like, I'm always going to be leading with value and like looking for somebody to get something out of what I'm saying. So there's this idea of polarity, right? So for example, in 2019, I was working in construction. I had a broken ankle. So I broke my ankle. I was walking around. I had crutches. I had a boot. And I walked through the grocery store. So I'm walking through the grocery store, obviously limping with a boot, so forth and so on. And as I'm walking, I see somebody has 2 legs amputated. So somebody who might be complaining about their water bill, their light bill, their children, whatever the case may be, somebody with a broken ankle could see someone that doesn't have the ability to walk. And there's that instant gratitude that you feel because you feel grateful even for the fact that you know your ankle is going to heal and that person may be able to never walk again. So with that idea and that principle of polarity, having these two polar sides, sometimes it's hard for people to think about, you know, they're thinking about the burden, all the things that they have to do. And the funny thing about that is that you may have somebody that's in your family or a friend or a cousin, whatever the case may be, that call you and say, man, you know what, man, you know, me and my significant other, we've been trying to, you know, have a baby for like 9 years. The doctor said we may not, there's like a, 15% chance that if it doesn't happen within the next 2 years that we've been able to have a baby. Suddenly that polarity kicks in and you instantly feel grateful. No longer is it a burden, but you're like, man, I'm so blessed that I have 2 children. I'm so blessed that I have 3 children because, you know, some people have abortions, some people have still babies, some people have, you know, just complications during pregnancy in general. When I did personal training, a lot of that was women coming to me saying that my doctor said if I didn't lose X amount of weight, I would never be able to have children. Like there's a lot of people that's out here that don't have that opportunity and don't and like wish they had it. I think there's that quote that says like your worst nightmare is somebody's dream.
Somebody's dream.
And it's so true, you know, and so in those times when it does get tough, I try to focus on that. I do have like some other practical things that I do. Like I get frustrated, I get annoyed, you know, sometimes I'm tired, I might snap, but you know, thank God for a floor because you can jump down and do some push-ups. You know what I'm saying? I'll knock out a quick 25, you know, they start jumping on my back. I'll be like, you know, we just start playing and stuff like that. And it's cool. And there's been times I've been mad about like something that happened in my day. And I'll go tell my children, I'll be like, hey, let's just take out our toys and go play. And then just like fully get into character, you know? And it's funny how like that just completely takes all that away. But, you know, just being able to count your blessings.
And I think the key thing that you keep hitting on and the thing that we really want to hammer home for people is it's that mindset. It's that basically you're telling yourself you have to find, hey, you know what? I think this is so bad, but you know what? Every time you think you got a bad situation, your situation can get worse. And there's somebody else who may be dealing with a situation that may be worse than yours, which makes you kind of realize the blessings that you do have. Now, you have not just been blessed in fatherhood. You've also been blessed in business. Now, you've been self-taught. You've taken the entrepreneur track. Now, most people, they think entrepreneur just means I ain't got no boss. Everything is great. I'm going to be rich. That's not exactly the way that works. Entrepreneurship means you put in a lot of work, put in a lot of hours. How are you balancing the professional life, the family life, the 6 days a week gym routine? I mean, I'm ready for the book, man. I want to see the TG3 how-to book, man. Give me some secrets here, man. Give me something, man. Talk to the people.
Oh man, hey, first of all, it's definitely on the way. So I was working on the course last night, actually. Like I stayed up to about like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, just doing all the back end details. But for one, you know, I love to lift weights. And the thing about, especially like a lot of males in our current society, I can only speak for America. There's not a lot of opportunities for you to really get out that warrior energy, that aggression energy, you know, because, you know, when you're handling business, you got to be professional. When you doing, you know, when you're dealing with certain people, you got to talk to them a certain kind of way. So we're really not out here going and hunting elephants and lions and deers and all that stuff on a daily basis like we would did a long, long time ago. So the gym routine in the morning is like my me time. You know, I would get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, have my devotion. I get the opportunity to go to the gym, and then I spend like the next hour or so having my morning show, which is the morning soul care on Clubhouse, where I get the opportunity to pour into others. So by the time my children wake up, like I'm like filling my cup up. Like, here we go. You know, I'm already overflowing. I'm like, what's up, young king? What's up, young queen? Y'all ready to go to school today? Today's gonna be a great day. They be looking at me sometimes like,
oh my God, what time this fool get up?
I could have sworn I woke you up at 3:30 last night. You still up? What is going on? So, and then with that, man, it's just, you know, I think it just always goes back to that why. So when it comes to like my, you know, the workout piece, I have my own personal, you know, health and fitness goals, but also the energy. Like when you're a single parent, bro, I'm telling you, I be telling people like, look, I don't like missing my workouts because the energy that it gives me to be able to do my business, you know, work a job, have my children. Cause like literally from Monday through Friday, the whole day is like the whole morning is about them getting them ready. Shout out to my daycare, because I wouldn't be able to do a lot of what I do without the wonderful women that work at my daycare. So thank God for that. I get to drop them off at daycare, have the whole time, however many time I can go to work and I can, get stuff done. And then after that, we start that nightly routine after daycare, but also having that routine, when they come home, I pick them up at 6:30. Okay. By the time we get home at 7, we putting the shoes up where they go. We're about to go ahead and eat. After we eat, brush our teeth, wash our hands, get ready, put our night, like they know what's going to happen.
They know what's happening.
That's the beautiful thing about routine. When you have children and you get that routine now, us as human beings in general, we are more prepared mentally when we know what to expect. That's just a psychological fact. Children are no different. So when you build that routine with them, they know what's going down in the morning. Aubrey knows I got to do her hair. You know what I mean? They already know. I'm at the point now, like they're 5 and 3, and I tell them, hey, let's go ahead and get our clothes ready for tomorrow. You know what I mean? So the next day, I'm already setting them up for success and setting myself up for success, and I'm involving them in that
process.
That process. And the last thing I'll leave you with is this. Another thing that really, really keeps me sane. I have like an entire, I don't even know what it's called. It's sitting on a hanger. It's like some sort of thing that has like the days of the week on it where I can literally lay out every single day of the week. But another thing that's a very good principle in terms of mindset is I consistently tell my children that we are a team, right? So they believe that they are a team with dad. Like, I can't do this without you and you can't do this without me. Mm-hmm. Not only does that make them feel involved, but it helps with the entire process because now we're 3 people moving towards a common goal. It's not me versus you. You know what I'm saying? You need to get to daycare too. I need you to get to daycare.
We all have the same goal of getting to daycare.
We all got the same goal. You can't go see your friends until you get dressed, right? So let me help you get dressed. You help me to help you get dressed. It's a win-win.
No, I definitely think that routine aspect of it is key, and having them get into that mindset of saying, this is what we do, this is how we doing it, and incorporating them, because I always tell people more is caught than taught when it comes to kids, and they catch what you are doing more than what you are saying. You just get the days of do as I say, not as I do. You can't really necessarily do that no more because these kids really do see everything that you do, and they do emulate it, the good stuff and the bad things. Now, as you have transitioned into making you guys this team Givens, how has that been for the outside world? You know, how has that been for everybody else who sees them? Because typically what happens is when you get something good going, it never fails. That wild animal called a hitter, it comes up from the bushes and it wants to strike and tell you what you shouldn't be doing, how you couldn't be doing it. You get attacked from so many different areas of, well, he probably should be doing this. He probably should be doing that. How do you guys as a team tune out that outside noise?
Man, that's a great question. So first of all, as a father, I'm very, very serious about censoring everything that they watch. Like, I will literally sit there and watch it with them. If they say they want to watch something when they're asleep, I might come through, watch it, read about it, who created it. I'd spend some time doing some research, stuff like that. But also, too, it's just, like even the other night, they were like, hey, Dad, when we get home, can we watch TV? Nope. We're going to go home and read a book. And then just breaking that monotony sometimes, because, like, if they think that they're going to come home and read a book every day or jump on the iPad, like, gather them like away from that sometimes. Like you said, they're going to model everything you do. So whatever you said about you're not doing this, you're not doing that. One thing that I learned really early on with my children, when my son was like 1 or 2, is that what gets praised gets repeated. So instead of looking for like pointing out what they didn't do right, if you praise them, like they already look up to you, right? They already look up to me because I'm dad, you know what I mean? So when they do something, I said, man, there you go, young king. That's how a king does it. You put things back decently and in order. I like that. You know what I mean? Or they'll go upstairs. He'll do something for his sister. I'll be like, man, way to be an awesome big brother. I'll see him open the door for his sister. Man, way to be an awesome big brother. You a young king, man. I appreciate you doing that. When you praise them, sometimes it is what it is. You gotta reprimand them. You know what I mean? But what gets praised gets repeated. And the cool thing about it, Hudrico, is this. Right? Since my son is the 4th and we have the same name, sometimes when I'm telling him that, subconsciously I'm building my own self up. and that's a whole nother aspect because your children are a part of you. So as you continue to praise them and build them up, you're also building up yourself, which in return creates that synergy. You feel better, they feel better, everybody feel better. And, it just makes for a better life. So,
first off, this is why I love this podcast because, I had this million ideas of where we was going to go with this thing. But guess where we ended up? In fatherhood. And guess what? I'm happy where we at? In fatherhood. But guess what we finna keep going with? In fatherhood. So I needed you to get some tips out there because, you sound like everything you got going, the routine, the praise. I like what's praise is repeated. That's going to be a nice little hashtag, especially when I put this out, that will be a hashtag. Let's talk about something else. Like you have a daughter. Now, the Chronicles of Doing Hair. And I'm going to show a clip. Matter of fact, y'all check this out. My man gets after it. Now, for those fathers out there who are girl dads, I need you to give them a list, man. What are a couple things for all my girl dads out there who are clueless? Because I get it. Because if I had a daughter, I wouldn't know what to do. Yeah. Where can they go to get some of these tips, man? How did you learn how to do the hair and these other different things, man? What helps you in this girl dad trilogy?
Man, I'm glad you asked. So my children. I learned so much about hair, bro. It's crazy. It just kind of like what brought me back to where when I was in high school or in college and I would watch film. Like when I was I watched film on my opponent, for football, basketball, whatever the case may be. So I was like, I got to watch film, I'm sitting there taking notes. I got to watch film. So, like my cousin kind of helped me out. She'll come through and show me some tips and stuff like that. But 90% of it I got on YouTube. And I'm actually working on some like easy, quick tutorials that look good. I'm gonna be dropping some on my membership site that's gonna be coming soon. I got some stuff on my IG, which is Tillman Givens III on Instagram. So I'm gonna be dropping that too. And a lot of it is like the same stuff. Like it's almost like anything else. Once you get that basic foundation down, you can kind of style it and finesse it however you need to. And that's what I really learned. But what a time to be alive also, because I was able to hop on YouTube, type in quick, easy tips for mixed girls. Brought the whole thing. There's one lady in particular, I think she's in Georgia, but she has mixed babies and I watch her faithfully. Her stuff be lit. Only thing I don't like about it is that sometimes, how like you watch a video and they have it sped up to like 1.5 or 0.2 so they can kind of go through. I'd be like, hold on, girl.
Slow down a little bit. Slow down. I'm trying to still.
Let me put this on 0.5 real quick speed, So I did that. And then that's what really helped me. I remember one time, just, praising people and uplifting others. I sent her like a very, very heartfelt message. Like, you don't know me. I live in Houston, Texas. I'm a single dad. I'm out here working, trying to learn how to do my daughter's hair. And if it wasn't for you, there's so many different things I would not have known. But I mean, I learned about leave-in conditioner, shampoo, conditioner, air dry versus heat dry, what kind of stuff you need to be putting on it, products that have toxins in them, even for little kids, like hair stuff that have toxins in them. So make sure you take your time to do your research. But yeah, man, it is dope because now we're at that point where it's like we bonding, you know what I mean? So she knows I'm gonna do her hair. And then like when I go out somewhere and then like somebody will say, oh, your hair is so pretty or whatever. And she'd be like, my daddy did my hair. I'd be like, let him know.
You just go to touchdown. I did that. I did that. Yeah.
It's real though. It's just like sports. It's like you be watching film, you be trying to learn something. And when you finally nail it, you feel so good. So yeah, shout out to you for that. But I'm going to be working on some tutorials from a man perspective because hers, we receive information differently. That's all. So I could give them just like straight bullet points. Hey, look, all you got to do is this, and this. No fluff. Come through. Boom, 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 boom. You can whip it like that. Bam, that's one. Or you could drop them down. That's two. Or you could just do a little twist. That's 3 hairstyles in one video. Bam.
Boom. And you just made it happen. So you don't went the full circle. You don't went from Danielson and now you about to turn into Mr. Miyagi, man. You going full circle with this, man. Wax on, wax off, man. Tillman, man, thank you so much. This leads me to what I like to call the final timeout. And for the final timeout, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see with Mr. Tillman here, fatherhood is a blessing. I mean, no matter, and motherhood. Now, I don't want to take a shot against my mothers because there's some single mothers out there who are doing some phenomenal things. And we take no shots away from anyone. But what I really want you guys to get away from this and take away from this is appreciating what you do have and knowing that it is a blessing. I know sometimes it can be hard. I know sometimes kids, I got 3 of them. Sometimes I love them all, but sometimes I don't like them because sometimes they can push you to that limit. But just know that those kids are there for you and they are replicas of you. That attitude they see, they got it from somewhere. That mischievousness they get, they got it from somewhere. So you got to remember to keep being patient and keep educating yourself. As you can see, my guest did. YouTube University is a great site. Also a great place to subscribe to Hudrico Live. But so it's so many things that you can do. So we want to thank y'all for coming on. And I want to thank my guest, Tillman, man. Thank you for taking the time to come on and spend some time with old Hudrico, man. Where can the people find you if we want to keep up with the journeys of TG3?
Yeah, man. So I got my IG, which is Tillman Givens III. I'm very, very active on Clubhouse. I have the exact same handle, the exact same picture. I try to keep everything pretty congruent across all platforms. I do pop up on TikTok every now and then as TikTok Tillman. I like to dance. I like to do skits, you know what I'm saying? I be having fun with it. But and then also I got my YouTube channel, which is my first and last name, Tillman Givens. And I almost started another one, but I chose not to because I wanted people to see the progression. Because back at that time, I didn't have children. I was a single man. You know, I was still talking about things that it's great to watch too, because when I do watch my old videos, I see that I was still about education, empowerment, and uplifting, you know, and that's the beautiful thing about it. That's like me at my core. And I also have my digital marketing agency, which is Titanium King. I don't know if I tell you this, Hudrico, but before Clubhouse, before I even met you, I actually started a group called Titanium King Network, which is primarily for men empowerment. Because when I went through everything I went through back in 2019, before I was a single dad, fighting for my children, the whole 9 yards, I was just like, there's nowhere where we're directly being uplifted. Man, let me tell you how good God is. I just got to drop this real quick.
Go for it.
Clubhouse last night, right? I'm on Clubhouse last night. I'm in this other room. It's like a venture capital room about pitching. So I was like, I'm about to go up there and tell them about my dad thing. And here's the beautiful thing. Sometimes you don't know how God gonna work it out. Stop thinking about how God gonna work it out and start reminding yourself of all the victories that he already brought you through. Because that's gonna build up your faith. So I started going through, like I started telling them, they bring me on stage, they make me a moderator. I started telling them about everything I'm doing. Lo and behold, man, it ended up being a guy who has something like a program, who's obviously he's very heavy into music, into movies. He's a believer. And then we just got a connection. I got his phone number last night. He actually lives here in Houston. He has a lot of big things we're working on. We talked about crypto. We talked about NFT, a lot of different things that we were working on, but he was just so inspired by my story. And so he already has something, but not only is it like helping dads with like the mental side, like the mental health side, but also, hey, let's find you a job if you don't have a job, or, you know, if you need help with your taxes, and that's exactly what I was trying to create. And so now, you know, I'm getting to these people that have access to different things that I don't have access to, and they're in my city. So I can see myself in the next 3 to 5 years creating something that's monumental for men. And I'm working on next month actually is Father's Day month. So Father's Day weekend, I'm going to be dropping like a full panel, which I want to talk to you about as well. But we're going to have the Father's Day panel. I have 2 other gentlemen that are going to be joining us. Both of them are entrepreneurs. Both of them have full custody of their children like me. So it's just a huge blessing to have that example. You know, I remember I saw an interview with Will Smith and they asked him about like why he does what he does, so forth and so on. And his response was, I want to represent an idea of possibility.
Bam.
That's what it comes down to for me. I want to represent the idea that a young Black African-American male could be an entrepreneur, be a great father, make a difference in the community, smile and dance and have fun while doing it.
And guess what? You are achieving it, my man. And I look forward to it. And you let me know about that panel, because if you need me, look, count me in, man. Hudrico Live is there for you, man. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. And that is another episode of Hudrico Live. Boom, in the books.